Hey guys, this is Scott. Now, you'll see this map if you hit infrared or visible, and I'll put the link in the about description below this video, but look at this. There are structures, there are buildings on Mars, and it's just hard to believe, but they're there. And they're along some of the edges of the craters and the mountains, especially along the edges of the shadows, where they can be easily hidden. Now, some of these will go a quarter of a mile. I mean, there is a long line of structures. Look at these little structures here. And those are just a little bit. In a second, I'm going to show you a lot more. Now, planet Mars, look at that. I mean, that's a couple miles right there. That crater itself is like 3 or 4 miles across. Now, planet Mars, the temperature can reach as high as 70 degrees. That's 20 Celsius. 70 degrees Fahrenheit. That's pretty warm. That's exactly what we need for you and I to live there. And that's during the day, but at night it could drop as far as negative 224 degrees Fahrenheit. Now look at those structures there. It seems kind of unbelievable, I know, but they're there. It's not pixelization. It's not a flaw in the photo. This is on Google Earth, and you can see how it blends in really well with the structures. The structures blend in really well with the background and everything there. They're actually going down so deep in some places that they fade. You can see the shadows and everything of these structures fading. So that is proof that they are real. Look at that. Look how they're made to fit perfectly around the shadows. I'm just kind of wondering, do you think these things are air vents for underground bases, underground cities that exist in this area? Or do you think these might be something like something to pull moisture out of the air, like dehumidifiers of sorts, to pull in more air, to pull in more oxygen? And it's not necessarily true that an alien living or born on Mars is going to breathe air. Okay, do you remember the Mars? Do you remember in 2014 that Russian astronauts cleaning the solar panels on the space station noticed that and recorded massive amounts of giant plankton thriving and growing on the solar panels? Google that. It's in the news. It's in a no oxygen environment, guys. How could it be possible that living life can exist in a no oxygen environment? Well, it does. It did. Russian astronauts were first to discover it, actually. And then, do you remember the time excuse me, guys, I talked in 2018 to NASA astronaut Leland Melvin, and we chatted with each other, got in world news 70 or 80 times, and he said that he saw, I asked him, did you see anything strange on the space station? And he says, I once saw an organic-like alien floating past the windows. It was translucent, it was curved, it was organic looking, like a jellyfish, he said. Isn't that something? Isn't that just something? So life can exist. Life can exist out there, outside in space, with zero oxygen. So not everything requires oxygen. It's just really amazing that we assume all life is going to need oxygen to exist when not everything will. Now, we'll discover that in the future, and science will change that in the future. But right now, the science facts will not allow such controversy to continue about those things. They don't want to acknowledge anything like that could possibly exist until it's overwhelming evidence. Overwhelming. A little evidence is enough. They want overwhelming. Well, there's a lot of overwhelming evidence of structures here. See those structures all over the place? If I'm moving too fast, you can just pause at any time. Remember, hit that like and subscribe button. Really helps me out. It does. And it's just, life is not our definition of life. Life is going to be changed. The whole definition of what life is going to be changed very soon with AI itself. with AI itself coming. And life in the future also in the next 10, 20 years, when they find it out there in space, when they find these animals out there, when they find creatures, when they find intelligent aliens out there, they're going to realize they're different. This is not a carbon-based species. This is a plant-based species, or this is a hydrogen-based species. I mean, there's so many other elements out there that a species can be based on. It doesn't necessarily need our belief for these animals, these intelligent aliens, that life out there to exist. Scott C. Waring, UFO Sightings Daily. Like and subscribe.